Hey people, it's Monday, December the 21st, and it is 12:10 in the afternoon. And I'm here on Gerrard Street East, right near the Don Valley Parkway. And I'm going to be walking along Gerrard Street until I get to the Regent Park neighborhood, and I'll be taking a little walk through the old original section of Regent Park that is still standing. Regent Park is a rather notorious old public housing project on the east side of downtown Toronto that dates from the 1940s. The first phases were developed in the 1940s, I believe. And I think the last phases were added in the 1960s. And over the last 10 to 15 years, the entire area has been demolished and is being replaced with new buildings. You can see those kind of modern looking towers there. Those are part of the new Regent Park development. And there's just one small parcel of the old original Regent Park still standing. And it too will soon be demolished to make way for the last phase of the Regent Park redevelopment. So I thought I'd just take a walk through what's left of the old Regent Park while it's still there. We're just walking over the Don Valley Parkway and the Don River. Now these two apartment buildings here are actually not officially part of Regent Park, but most people think of them as being Regent Park simply because they're directly across the street from what was the original old Regent Park. And these buildings have pretty terrible reputations. But these buildings will not be redeveloped, as far as I know. One is public housing and one is private, I think. And there's a third one. I'm not too sure what the smaller third one is. So yeah, these are remaining. Although from what I hear, they're not a great place to live. I did have one acquaintance who lived in one of them, and she did not have very good things to say. I think she got out of there as quickly as she could. But hey, I could be wrong. I'm sure there's some people who are living quite happily in some of these units. At one time, though, Regent Park did have some towers of this style, but they were all demolished. Those ones were built in the 60s, I believe. So all that's left now are the low-rise townhouse-style units and a couple of mid-rise apartment buildings, around 6 floors or so. I think those were some of the oldest buildings in the development, probably dating from the 1940s. And you can see just across the way those old low brown buildings. That's where Regent Park officially starts. So I think the original Regent Park area extended from here at Gerrard Street. So Gerrard Street on the south, Shooter Street on the north, River Street on the east, and Parliament Street on the west. And the new redeveloped Regent Park also sits within those boundaries. But what they've done now is they've reinstated some streets that were blocked off before. They kind of broke up the street network when they built the original Regent Park. It had these courtyards and things. But now they're kind of putting those streets back again, so you can actually pass through the neighborhood directly. So I'm just going to head in here. Now this area used to have a terrible reputation. I'm sure a lot of it was hyped up, you know, to be worse than it really was, but there's no question that this was a legit hood, you know, especially in the 90s. I remember hearing quite a lot of nasty things used to happen. There you can see all the new buildings. So within the next few years, all this will be gone and will be replaced by more like what you see here. Which those are a mix of condos, public housing, and private rental units. You can look down into the newer part of the development. And just across Gerrard Street there is Cabbagetown, which is probably one of the nicest, most sought after neighborhoods in the city, in the downtown area anyway. See, most of the buildings are just connected by these pathways and sidewalks, and which probably seemed like a good idea at the time. Then they quickly discovered that they became good places for people to kind of conduct unpleasant business away from prying eyes. And apparently there was a gang war going on between Regent Park and another project on the west side of downtown, with actual murders taking place and kind of tied to rival gangs and kind of getting at each other through hip-hop videos that they would put on YouTube. It seems to have quieted down, but things are definitely not completely dead here in Regent Park. There's still, things are still active, I guess you could say. I think Alexandra Park was the other downtown project. There you can see one of the old mid-rise apartments. I think there's only a couple of those still standing. Well, you can see this building is already starting demolition by the looks of it. At least gutting, anyway. I had one friend who lived here in Regent Park with her family for most of her life, and she was quite happy and didn't really complain about it or anything. I think that's the case for most people who live here. Just don't get involved with all the nonsense and probably be fine, you know? This view of downtown never used to be here because this plot of land here used to be some of the old buildings that were just torn down in the last year or so. As you can see now, it's being used as a parking lot, but the redevelopment is slated to begin in the very near future. So yeah, before too long, all the rest of this will be leveled. Oh, so this is Oak Street. Kind of reminds me, I came across a really cool old CBC documentary on YouTube about when this original phase of Regent Park was first being developed, and they had to tear down all the old existing housing along Oak Street It was about a family who was just moving into the new Regent Park development when it was brand spanking new. I think it's called Goodbye Oak Street or something like that. So that was it. That was the last remaining section of the old original Regent Park.
I think that's better reading fake news.
I think now I'll just walk a little ways up Parliament Street. Have to make a couple of stops, so I'll just record this last little section of my walk as I head up to the grocery store, and then I'll end my walk there. Oh, by the way, today's the first day of winter, and it's very pleasant out, very mild. It's definitely a few degrees above zero. No wind. Very unwinter-like. There we are, no frills. This is one of my least favorite grocery stores in the neighborhood to go to, but I'm just going to go to it anyway since I'm right here. There's one a little closer to my place that I prefer, but that would require a little bit of extra walking. I'd have to go past my place and then backtrack. So I'll just grin and bear it. I find this store to be a bit of a slog to go through.
Try to play something on the...
This is basically right on the edge of my neighborhood. I only live about a 7 or 8 minute walk from here. So I hope you enjoyed my little tour through the old part of Regent Park. While it's still there, it might not be long for the world now. If you did, please, by all means, subscribe, like, share, comment, tell your friends and your family and your worst enemy. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my videos. I've been posting daily lately. And be sure to always check back because I will continue.